1,000 days of lessons for discipline, 10,000 days of lessons for mastery. Miyamoto Musashi. My friends, don't worry about how long it takes you to master the charts, because once you do, you'll make up for all the time you ever spent. Stocks are mixed today, bonds down, gold up, Bitcoin down. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. Close the day down just a little bit, 0.17%. Now, as we focus on the S&P, we can see last week the high was 524.61. The week before, 524.11. So far this week, 524.38. So we're not hitting yet. We're just a few cents away from the high of last week. We're going still in that upward direction, down for the day, though, overall 0.17%. And as we look at things, you can see where we ranged up in the morning and then rolled over in the afternoon. Below average volume throughout the course of the day. The two-day candle, which of course represented Thursday and Monday. Remember, markets were closed when? Friday for Easter, for Good Friday. So this two-day candle represents the high that we went up to on Thursday, and then, of course, rolling over on Monday. So we can, of course, see super high volume there. Look, we haven't seen volume that high, well, as far back as we go on our two-day calendar right now. I mean, I can stretch it back somewhere and probably find it somewhere else. But again, you know, volume slowed down last week. Now, again, it was a short week, so I'm not quite sure how to measure that. But again, we had average volume the week before. So we'll continue to watch, wait and see prices above the weekly trend line on both the two-day and the half-day. So we'll see how this week continues to move along. Needless to say, we're still long on the S&P. NASDAQ 100 up a little bit for the day, 0.21%. You can see where it ranged up a lot in the morning and then blowing off that steam in the afternoon, above average volume in the morning. Two-day candle above average volume. You can see where the last time we had above average volume was the week beginning the 4th and the week beginning the 11th of March. Since then, volume has been going down, so we will keep an eye on things. The high we had back on the week beginning the 18th was 449.34. Last week, 447.23. This week, 447.53. So we've already hit a higher high than last week, but not up near where we were at the 449.34 on the week beginning the 18th of March. So still above the weekly trend line on the two-day and the half-day. And we'll just continue long as the market allows us to do that on the NASDAQ 100. What about bonds? Now, bonds hadn't been telling us much of anything because, of course, we had this very high volume the week beginning the 29th of January. Then things died for 3 weeks, up for 2 weeks, sideways for a week, down for a week, up for a week, down for a week. Well, starting this week, we'll just see. We don't have a trade going because there's no chart to read for us. Look at this volume. It's been below average all the time since then. And of course, without volume, without the candlesticks, the Heikin Ashi candlesticks and the trend line giving us a discernible move, we don't trade it. So we're still ambivalent about bonds. Let's see where we are with gold. Gold up, bounding up for the day, 1.02%, just jamming up quite nicely now. We had seen where gold hit its most recent high in volume back on the week beginning the 4th of March, and then took it a while to get back up to that same level. Last week higher high, this week higher high. So again, we look at this latest two-day candle, really nice, strong volume, pulling away from the weekly trend line. Make sure that's set properly. It just looks way too flat. Sometimes I just reset it just to be careful. And I'm trying to figure out why it looks so darn flat there. That doesn't look right to me. It shouldn't be that flat. I'm trying to figure out. I tell you what, sometimes when I look at it just something doesn't look right to me. So I'm getting rid of it, and I'm going to call up a new trend line. We like to use the rays because a ray goes only in one direction. And we're going to redraw that, see if that, well, still showing it just as flat. It may just be a result of this slow movement and then the spike up, but that just still doesn't look right to me on the 2-day. But again, I guess you got to believe the chart. We do see that price is well above the 2-day and the half-day on this weekly trend line. And again, things punching up strong. 1.02% for the day. We are still long gold. What about Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin pulling back today, 1.71%. Now, on 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin, it's back right now 2.35%. We saw where over the weekend, well, we saw where Sunday night and early Monday morning things really moved down. And then, of course, moving up since this 330 candle started drawing, but down 2.36%. And again, that's a 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. We're using it right now just to have some idea as to the volume. You can see how strong the volume has been in these 3 prior weeks. Prior to last week, the volume low, but again, we had a short week and starting off low, but we'll see how this week continues to progress as we look at our trading chart, which is the VanEck Bitcoin Trust, HODL. You'll hear me call it HODL sometimes. We see that, again, a green candle forming, but not getting anywhere near the high yet of last week, or the highest high, which is the week beginning the 11th of March. So again, where are you in Bitcoin? Did you pull out once we had this spinning top? Did you stay in? Again, it's hard to follow. Once it reached that top and blew off that stack, to recover from that is again going to take a lot of energy to do. And if you're still long Bitcoin, okay. If you're waiting for Bitcoin to come up with some kind of move to take off again, is it going to go in the red and then reset? I don't know, my friends. Again, we're in a bit of uncharted territory as it's reached this high of highs back on the week beginning the 11th of March. We'll continue to watch, wait and see. I'm hoping Bitcoin will reset with some negative down candles on the weekly so that we might find another opportunity for entering, but Bitcoin's not necessarily known to do that. That is where we are on Monday as we get back into a regular week after the Easter holiday. Hope all you guys are doing well. We always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.